today's special. I'm getting out of my little pocket of entertainment, and today we're gonna have a question that I know a lot of people want to know, a lot of misconceptions. What is white privilege? We're about to answer that. Okay, we're gonna break this down into 2 or 3 parts. First off, what is white privilege? Systematic racism. White privilege is something you might not even notice happening as a white person. How could you? It's meant for you. In a lot of cases, you don't notice it, and it's not even necessarily racism. It's like systematic racism is not directly outlining racism. It's just a system based on race and a comfortability of separation between people. Basically, being segregated kind of leads to this systematic problem that we have, and that what white privilege come in. Okay, first thing about white privilege. If me and you are equal, based on just pure comfort level, even if I'm slightly better and more qualified, I would literally have to get an interview so much better than you, even if we are even or close, because the owner will be most likely more comfortable. Well, not the owner, the manager will be most likely more comfortable with you. So now I have to overcome comfortability. It's the same thing with black people. You notice a black manager hire more black people. It's the same thing. It's a comfortability level. That's a systemic problem, probably due to much of the country being kind of segregated in a way that allows this to happen. That's why major cities probably hire more black people. That's why black people leave the country leave the country. I'm talking about the country, not the whole U.S. I'm talking about like the rural areas, and go to cities because more opportunity in the cities, because more people of color or people that used to have hiring people of color have those positions. That's the first thing. Comfortability level. You're more comfortable hiring, so I have to personally do way better than you in order to get a job. Even if I'm slightly better than you, even if I do an interview better than you, you can go and interview lazy. You can possibly get a job before me. Even if, like I said, even if I'm slightly better, I have to do way better than you. Hence the thing that when black parents tell their kids, you have to be twice as good to compete. That's comfortability. This comfortability thing, you won't even notice. You won't even think about. How could you? It's privilege, you know what I mean? You couldn't tell the difference. You think when you go into a building, when you go into an interview, you think, yo, I'm competing with this guy. We on even terms, blah, blah, blah. I must did better than him. No, systematically, that's not true. And it's based on comfortability. You don't believe me? All you gotta do is look up psychology. Just study psychology just a little bit. You know, when people are more comfortable with people, they rather have those people around than people they don't know from a different culture or something. That's just natural psychology. You don't even have to debate that. That is something that happens. So basically, like I'm saying, comfortability, you're more likely to get hired than that person. Might not even be based on race, just based on comfortability, which is a systematic racist idea. How do you fix it? Again, like I said, how do you fix this problem? You fix it by simply becoming more diverse. Being more diverse is better. Figuring out what you're comfortable with, stepping out on your own, actually looking to everybody. By the way, that doesn't apply to everybody. Okay, another thing. Racism. Basically, what else is white privilege? Usually you own property. That's the most white people don't own property. I'm blessed enough to have a family that own property. So I'm in this way, I am not this way I'm not as unprivileged as white privilege. My daddy, military, Vietnam, right there, Vietnam vet. I don't know if y'all can see that thing. He's a Vietnam vet. Daddy worked hard. He was a sharecropper. Didn't have no money, but he could build houses. He learned how to build houses. He studied and he learned on his own. No one taught him. He learned on his own by watching other people build houses while he was a sharecropper. They took him and he learned because they needed him to build a house. He learned, became a contractor, Boom, we build our own house. He doesn't get caught in the debt situation that most people like me, look like me, would be caught in. You'll be caught in a lot of debt. I can build my own house, cut the loans down, cut the debt down, don't have to spend much money. I'm good in life. So in this case, I'm actually blessed. In this case, I have a little privilege. But the thing comes from your family owning land a long time ago, therefore doesn't have to pay these absurd prices that most people have to pay. You can sell land and get money or whatever based on your family heritage. You know this. You probably own heritage. This is where even poorer white people have a privilege over most people. They own land. Their parents own land. Somebody own land. They can get it. They sell it. Most of my friends that are white, parents own land. Most of my black friends' parents don't really own much land. That is where the 150-yard head start goes, right? That's where building property is easier to build. That's why black people live in overcrowded neighborhoods in big cities. Like I said from the beginning, to get better jobs, they usually go to these big cities. They get in overcrowded neighborhoods. The neighborhoods are very poor, which have and have nots. If you watch my podcast Monday, Monday morning about part 1 of the climate we in, have and have nots. Most people have not, therefore they commit more acts. Even it's everywhere. Trailer parks, urban areas, higher percentage of crime. Trailer parks have less people in it, so less percentage of crime. Everybody know poor people commit more crime. You stack poor people on top of each other, more crimes be committed. Therefore, you have inner city problems. Therefore, owning land is a privilege. Like I said, in this case, I'm privileged in this case compared to that. But again, most people that look like me are not said privileged. And the third is just TV, money, owning TV, owning ownership, basically. Again, not many black people own things. White people do. Ownership allows you to portray what you want to portray or what you think is portrayed. That's why when you see black movies, black anything, you see gang members. That's what they see them as. Again, going back to that poor environment, getting how you get it. They show that on TV. Everyone gets frightened. All of a sudden, this is where it comes into play. Police see it. You see it. They're thugs. They're gangsters. They kill each other all the time. All that stuff. You don't look at the socio-economic prospect of it where, like I said, thousands of poor people on top of each other. Of course, they try to eat. In the animal kingdom, they eat each other and claw each other to survive. You don't see that, but I see this on TV. This is what they think. This is how they act. This is portrayed by usually a white director or a black person coming out there trying to portray his history. And that usually happens. Therefore, now we have this stereotype. Therefore, police always pull over black people more because, why? He looked like a thief to me. Aubrey, who got killed by the two white men, the racist white men that called him the N-word, pulled over because I had a gut feeling he was a thief. That was where the situations happen. He looked like he had a gun. He's a giant black man. He's scary. You see Ethan Klein. You see these things. All of a sudden, you don't have to deal with that. It's a privilege. So simple. Economics. Owning land from 100 years ago that your family has owned for years, being able to sell it and do what you want with it, whereas the other people don't. That is a privilege. Again, what you need to understand, privilege doesn't mean that you didn't have a hard life. It doesn't mean that you didn't have to work hard. It doesn't mean that you didn't, because you did. A lot of people work hard. It's just those opportunities are given. And you'll be like, Zelmae, that's just how the structure works. That's privilege. Not being stereotyped is a privilege. Owning land before you're born is a privilege. I own that privilege. Being able to get a job because someone looks like you, it's easier for you to get a job, is a privilege. Anything else someone telling you, not what they're talking about. That what the right privilege is. It's not that you didn't work hard. It's not that you was given a silver spoon in your mouth. It's not that you were blessed more than me. I'm probably blessed more than you in some situations, but I still get harassed more. I go on stream, I get called the N-word. You don't have to deal with that. I deal with race. My friends are dealing with racism. They're not even black. It's just because they support black people. That's all I'm saying. So understand, that is what white privilege is. I thought this was an important message because I know a lot of you are confused and can't see it. And if you don't understand the problem, even if you're for it, I know a lot of people are for it, but they still don't know what it is directly. So I just want to explain what it is from a person who know a little about economics, know a little bit about, I got a degree in business management. I took a lot of, all my spare classes with economics. I took a lot of psychology class. I helped people pass psychology in a lot of ways. I read all my brother's dissertation about psychology. He's a psychology major. He wrote it. I just looked over it to make sure there was no thing as an author too. So I know about all that stuff. Psychology, sociology, one of my favorite classes. So I read books on psychology. So all that blending together kind of leads me to why that happens. And I wanted you to learn that if you're watching this video, share this with a friend. Like and subscribe, comment your thoughts. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you disagree with me. Tell me why. I'm always down to be wrong. But because the base is how things change. But yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hope this helped a lot. Go look at some other video. Go look at that podcast. It's lit. Podcast link in the bio if you don't want to see it. But yeah. Peace. Love you.